So I've got a 3-leg touchdown parlay right now. Nothing on Thursday or Monday nights. One on Monday night. But give me Pickens to score back-to-back weeks with Wilson in there. Mason to score for the 49ers because they're not going to have any passing game. And Henry to score for Baltimore because he's been scoring just every weekend now. So that's plus 436. I mean, it's not a huge win, but for a 3-leg touchdown parlay, I'll take plus 436.
Friends, countrymen, fellow degenerates, welcome back to Week 8 edition of Bets and Buds. We are the Buds helping you cash your bets. I am Jason Smoking Token.
I'm Bobby Light.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. We've got another action-packed weekend, bunch of big spreads.
Oh, yeah.
We got some baseball action. NBA started up. Not going to really touch on a whole lot of that since last night was the first opening night.
Yeah, last night was opening night.
Yeah, opening night last night. Bron and Bronny and all that shit went on. I'm not even want to talk about that with my beloved Lakers because it makes me sick to my stomach. But it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. You know, Bron's earned that shit. You know, good on him. Good on Bronny that you won the sperm fucking lottery.
But he's got another kid coming down the pipeline, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got Bryce. Bryce is the next one coming. Right. Yeah, he's got the next one coming. But he should be done by that point.
Is he going to hang on long enough to...
They say this season and next season, because I guess next season will be season 23, and they also have the All-Star game in L.A.
Okay.
And so that'll be season 23. He wears the number 23, all that other corny LeBron shit that he does. You know? So it is what it is.
It is LeBron.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, good on him.
All right, before we dive into this football action, let's see what's going on with these Blues here, brother.
Okay, so through 7 games of the season now, I mean, it's hard to believe we're already 7 games in the season. You're like 16% of the way through, damn near. They're in 5th place in the Central right now. Lost to Winnipeg last night. Winnipeg is undefeated so far. 6-0. Like, they're just dominating. But there are positives in this Blues season right now. Joel Hofer is 3-0.
Oh, nice.
With a 2.32 goals against average, save percentage of .932. Benner, not so much. He's 1-3. His goals is over 3. His save percentage is under .900. So, I mean, I think we might be starting to see the change right here. I know Bennington's under contract for 2 more years after this season, but Hofer's out of the season.
Be some trade bait.
It could happen if the Blues are, you know, languishing around, you know, that 7th, 8th, 9th spot. They could trade Bennington to a contender that needed a, you know, experience.
I would do it after this season, though. You want to have a 1A, 1AB goal.
Oh, yeah,
right
you
now.
do.
Because like that last night, Bennington played a good game. When I watched the end of that, like that last goal, he had no chance on that one.
Oh, no, I'm not saying he's terrible, right?
Yeah.
The Blues are just, right now they're just playing it better in front of Hofer.
Oh, yeah.
Hofer's getting the Blues better game so far. Out of the 7, they're 4-3, like I said. Kairu's got 7 points in 7 games, so 2 goals, 5 assists. Broberg has been the real surprise. 1 goal, 5 assists.
Yeah, he's looked solid, man. That kid can skate.
He looks like a number 1 defenseman.
Yes, he can fucking skate.
And you stole him away from Edmonton.
Yes, absolutely. Speaking of goaltending, the former Blues goalie Jake Allen, did you see that goal he gave up against with New Jersey? Oh my God! So I guess apparently I can't remember who they were playing. The Devils were playing somebody last night. Guy clears it off the boards. Jake Allen misplays it. Goes behind the net like he's going to catch the carom off the board and it goes in the net.
Oh, shit.
It goes in the net. I mean, it was literally a cleared shot that he had cleared off the boards. Oh, yeah, it was an ugly one. Rough one for Jake Allen.
There is some bad news on the Blues front, though. Thomas left that game
6 weeks.
night. Yeah, so is he broken foot? Is
broken
that
ankle.
Broken ankle.
Broken ankle. Blocking the shot. That's a danger with those hockey players, man. Blocking those shots. I mean, yeah.
You're going to see the Blues center depth right here. It's a tough break. Obviously, he's your first or second best player. Depending, you could argue about Buchnevich or Thomas.
Yeah, I still think Thomas. I mean, he's like what he's shown last year. I think he's got to be your top line player for sure.
But yeah, the Blues are playing fine. After 7 games, if you would say they'll be 4-3 and Broberg looks awesome, you would take.
I like their depth. Kyrie was putting points on the board. Yep. So I mean, we'll see what happens. It's still early in the season. Too early for me to
Sundqvist is about to come back too.
Oh, so that's a big one too.
Sonny's coming back.
Sundqvist, that's a big addition coming back.
Put him on that 4th line, centerman. Like you're gonna have to move obviously Shin or Buchnevich up to that number 1 center spot now.
I would probably say Shin. That would probably be your widest move. But Buchnevich, I know they like him there, but I like him better at the wing a lot better.
Since the Blues have signed Shin back in that initial season, he leads the team in goals, assists, points. Like he is your team leader.
Yeah, he's a tough guy too. On top of that, I mean, he's not afraid to drop the gloves if he has to set the tone in the game. So I like that with Braden Shen. So we'll see what happens. But again, it's early in the season.
Oh, yeah,
so we got
super early.
Long
we
way
just
to
can't
go.
have those 4 and 5 game losing streaks.
And losing
like
fucking shitty teams like the Blue Jackets.
Right.
And stuff
yeah,
like
getting
that.
beat by Winnipeg last night. I mean, you hang your...
And it was a really last second. I mean, they had a couple chances at the end to get back into that one. So, I mean, like I said, you hang your hat on that one, and it is what it is.
Before we get into football, we've got the World Series starting tonight.
Yes, we do.
This is an old... I mean, you got the Dodgers
at the Yankees. Dodgers at the Yankees. So, yeah, this should be an interesting series.
This has happened.
2 MVPs. Both MVPs from both leagues now, too.
Shohei
Ohtani and Judge.
Ohtani. Yeah. Neither one of the teams has great starting pitching. I mean, the Yankees have Garrett Cole, and the Dodgers obviously have Buehler and their various starters, but nobody's throwing lights out.
Yeah, nobody's throwing lights out. I think it's gonna be a battle of bullpens in this series. Honestly,
definitely.
Whoever's bullpen really plays the best.
You're gonna want to get your 5 innings out of your starter, and then give it to the bullpen.
Speaking of pitching, R.I.P. to Fernando Valenzuela, the Dodgers great.
Yes.
R.I.P. passed away yesterday. So, who knows? Maybe that's a little Dodgers extra motivation.
It could be the Dodgers magic this year. I mean, Fernando.
The Dodgers magic has been Tommy Edman
going
there.
That is
fucking
true. I wasn't going to bring it
man.
up. I wasn't going to bring it up.
We have to. We're St. Louisans, man. Fucking Tommy Edman.
So we gave up Tommy Edman, the National League Championship Series MVP, for Eric Fetty and a couple of weeks at Tommy Pham.
Yeah, both of those players lasted on the team next to no time.
Well, we'll have Fetty back next year unless we trade him this offseason.
Yeah, but I mean, what
do you want him back?
I mean, exactly. That's what I mean.
He was terrible.
That's what I mean. What the fuck does that mean? Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
So either way, World Series tonight. Let's go. Whoever. I don't give a shit.
I mean, if I had to root for a team, it'd be the Dodgers. I'd just fuck the Yankees.
See, you know what? I'm on the opposite in there, Bobby. I'd go Yankees over Dodgers.
Okay.
Yeah, I would go Yankees. I'm sorry, but I'm in the National League, like with our Cardinals playing the National League team, and so I mean, I'd rather see the Yankees go ahead and do their fucking thing.
I get it.
Only because that supports my argument all the time. No matter how much money the Dodgers have spent, like over year after year after year, they still only have that one World Series. After being like a contender for the last 20 plus seasons.
But you say that the Yankees are still top 5 in spending.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I mean, it's the Yankees. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, the Yankees have always been that. The Dodgers kind of got back in that game about 20 years ago, and they still only got one World Series.
They did. Oh, and one more thing about Fernando Valenzuela before we get on. He was the best Mexican baseball player of all time. As far as WAR goes, there's been no better Mexican baseball player. So.
Yeah. Yes. R.I.P. Fernando. R.I.P. Fernando. Job well done, brother. 63 years old.
Yep.
63. All right. So let's dive into this Week 8 action here. So next up, we got this Thursday night game. We got the Vikings at the Rams. Vikings lost a tough game against the Lions for their first loss of the season, interdivision rivalry. So, I mean, it's going to be an interesting game here because we got the Rams looking to sell off parts. You're talking about Cooper Kupp on the trade market. The Vikings, I got as 3-point favorites here going into Los Angeles for this game. Kevin O'Connell is a former Sean McVay disciple, one of those guys that had the cup of coffee with Sean McVay, got a head coaching job. It seemed to be a quarterback whisperer as Sam Darnold looks really well this season. He looks comfortable, the most comfortable I've seen him in his professional career. It's going to be an interesting game. Who do you like in this one, Bobby?
I actually like Minnesota to go into L.A. and win this game. I have 2.5. Cover the 2.5. And they have the over-under at 48. I like the under in this one.
Okay, I got 48.5 on the over-under. I like the over in this one.
Okay.
I like the Vikings to go in and win at 3. I am at 3-point favorites. I like them to go in and win here in Los Angeles. Just their defense has been really solid. And as far as defensively, the Rams are still really, really beat up. I just see it being a hard time keeping up with them. You never know because it's the NFL again. Like I say, any given Thursday, Sunday, Monday, whatever, But you always have a chance. But I'm with you on that one. I think the Vikings are going to pull out on top on this.
I like that one.
All right, so next up we got the Cardinals at the Dolphins. Cardinals at the Dolphins here. So the Dolphins are getting Tua back.
Tua's coming back.
Tua is coming back is why the Dolphins are 3-point favorites going into this game. The Cardinals with a surprise victory over the Chargers last week. All I needed was a touchdown from J.K. Dobbins in that fucking game right there. They couldn't punch it in. Well, you know what? You know where I lost it. The Jalen Reagor got that punch out and the ball stayed in bounds and they got the recovery because that was going to be the chance for J.K. Dobbins to punch it in. I mean, they should have had another chance to score touchdowns, but Cardinals played a gritty game.
They did.
Kyler Murray was tough, like as far as all the way out in that game. He rushed for over like 100 yards in that game. game. I had him down he had to rush for over like 38 yards is one of my parlays. Or 28 yards. It was 28 yards. He crushed that. They absolutely crushed it. So, I mean, going to this game here, I like the Dolphins to get back on track.
Okay.
Because you got Tyreek Hill, who has done nothing. You got Jalen Waddle, who's done nothing. Odell Beckham. Those guys have been running routes, just knowing that. If you ever want to know why receivers are such divas in the NFL, it's because of that reason alone. Those guys do so much running, and they never, ever, ever they have to depend on the linemen, the quarterbacks, everything to get to the ball.
Tyreek Hill got one touch last week.
Yeah.
One touch.
And it was
a rushing yard.
And they knew they weren't going to get the ball. I mean, like, that's the thing. Like, when you, like, and which shows you, shout out to Tua, anybody who's a Tua critic out there, to how much he means to that offense, how much he navigates that offense. I mean, he's an orchestrator of that. And why the quarterback is such an important position. So I like the Dolphins actually to win this one at home, because that's the other thing. It's like they're going to Arizona has to fly over to Miami.
They do.
Might get that Miami flu a little bit there when they go down there. Might hit Tootsies a little bit. You know, who knows what happens there. And I like the over at 47.5.
I do like the over, but I like Arizona to go in and win this one in Miami. And I mean, they're getting 3.5 points.
So yeah, you got that 3.5, the 3 and a hook. So I mean, I actually like that one. So sometimes if you want to search and kind of shop your sports books there, kind of look for that one. The 3.5 might lead me to the Cardinals a little bit, but with it being at 3, that I have it through FanDuel, I'm going to stick with the Dolphins on that one.
Okay.
All right. So next up, we got the Jets at the Patriots, which I'm going to tell you this right now.
Oh.
I said last week, the Jets, as far as gambling wise, are fucking dead to me. They are fucking dead to me. The last 3 weeks, I've rode with the Jets and parlays and different things and thinking they're going to win and pull one out, and they've come up empty. There's something about like having a team and team chemistry. And I'm going to go on this with a little bit of segue on this real fast, just as being a Cowboy fan.
Okay.
Woody Johnson is one of those interfering type owners. All right, like, so here's where you're always going to run into a problem when you have an NFL team or any football team in general. When you have an owner that the players fear more about his decision making than the actual head coach and general manager, that's always going to be a problem. It is always going to be so, because you look at teams like Pittsburgh. Right. Pittsburgh's had 4 fucking coaches.
Yeah, in there.
You don't hear from the Rooneys, whether it be Art Rooney, whether it be Kevin Rooney, whatever the fuck Rooney you can think of who's running that team. You don't ever hear about that guy having an impact on what goes on inside that locker room. Same thing with the Packers. We're saying the Packers have no owner.
Right.
The Packers are owned by the people of Green Bay, and so you get the general manager, the coach. The players know that's who I have to be held accountable to. So until that, like when you have that outside influence of the owner being the most domineering voice, like you had with the stupid shit you heard Jerry Jones saying about we couldn't afford Derrick Henry, he wouldn't have fit in our scheme, all this.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That shows you that the head coach does not have the power in the building, and the players aren't going to respect that head coach the way that you need the players to respect the head coach when it comes to decision making, the finality of what's going to happen on the field, off the field, etc. So, but with that being said, the Jets are 7-point favorites against the Patriots. Patriots right now, that you had Gerard Mayo said that the team was soft coming out. That might light the fire under the team. We'll see a little bit. It's a home game for the Patriots.
They are at home, yeah.
7-point favorites for the Jets. I'm not going to put any money on this because like I said, they're dead.
I like New England to cover this 7.
You know what? I like the Jets to cover this.
Okay.
And the only reason why I say that, because right now I think at this point, Jets are at an absolute do-or-die position. You got an extra week of Devontae Adams being there. I think the Patriots don't really have enough as a team collectively to where I could see them kind of going through and actually getting routed by the Jets here.
Okay.
I wouldn't put money on that right now because the Jets have gave me no faith. The Jets are an organization where the Jets are going to be the fucking Jets. So it is what it is. But I like the Jets to actually cover this 7, win the game, and I like the under at 41.5.
I like the under, so we just agree on the spread.
Yeah,
there.
So we like this. Yeah, I mean, there's some big spreads this week.
It's 7 points. Give me that 7 points.
Yeah, this is a big spread this week, especially for a 7-point dog at home, Mike. So I understand why you would go that way. Absolutely. So next up, we got the Eagles at the Bengals. Eagles at the Bengals.
This is an interesting game.
This is a very interesting game. So I got the Bengals at 2.5-point favorites at home.
I've got 2.
You got 2?
And the over under at 48.
I got it at 47.5.
Okay.
All right. So who do you like in this one?
I actually I need Cincinnati to get. I don't need them to get this one done. I believe they will get this one done at home. Like I said, Philly's one of those Frankenstein teams this year.
Topsy-turvy. You don't know
what's going to happen. They looked good last week against the Giants, but much is that? The Giants' offensive line, they had 7 sacks. Right. But on the reverse side, I mean, the Eagles gave up 5 sacks of their own. So.
Right.
So I like Cincinnati to cover this 2 points, win at home, and give me the over in this at 48.
Okay, we're in total agreement. The only difference I have is I like the under.
You like the under?
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those kind of grinded out games as they're going to go through where it's maybe say 24-20, right. Something along those lines there. So so I always try to piece the score together like we talked about in the past.
Yeah, I missed a couple last week by a point.
Yeah,
half a point.
Those fuckers are good, man. Right. They like Vegas is fucking good at setting those points, man. I mean, they really are. It's amazing how close they get.
Do.
Week in, week out. Close. The public has been kicking ass the last few weeks. I mean, they really have, but it's amazing how close the Vegas gets. I mean, like I said, I needed 74.5 yards receiving from Chris Godwin to hit that one parlay that I needed. It was gonna win me, and he got 65.
Right.
I mean, and how did they know he was going to get hurt? How did they know? Like, how did they know? Like that's what I think when I'm sitting there watching the game. Like, how the fuck did you know that? So I mean, it's crazy, but I said we both agree on that one, except outside the over/under.
Okay.
All right, so next up we got the Packers at the Jaguars. Packers with a huge home victory last week against the Texans. Huge.
Jacksonville with a huge victory.
Yeah, Jacksonville. But I mean, that was a good game that got the Patriots getting called soft by dry mayo.
Right,
I mean, that was they almost looked like they quit. I don't think I've ever seen a Patriots team look like they quit as much as they did in that game, because it was an early morning London game, and watching that like hands on, I was like, I mean, there was no life in that. I had the Packers at 4.5-point favorites. Is what I have in this one. You got
49.
And 49. I got 49.5 on that. Okay. All right, so the 49.5 through FanDuel. I actually like the Packers to go ahead and carry this game through. Go ahead and win this one. I think they're going to win in probably a going away fashion with this game.
You'd like them to cover that forward?
Yes, I like them to cover that. And I think it's going to be an under, though, in this game.
I like the under as well, but I'll take that 4 points for the Jaguars. But Green Bay will ultimately win this game.
Okay, all right. All right, so the next up we got the Falcons at the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers with some brutal losses last week. Lost Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, both top receivers there. Baker Mayfield has looked great. He's leading the league in touchdowns with 18 touchdown passes right now. I think the next guy closest to him has 15.
Who's the next guy up?
The receiver was?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, you got Sterling Shepard. What's the kid that Sterling Shepard, Terry McMillan. He's a rookie out of Washington. I don't know. There's another young receiver that they have on the team. I can't remember exactly who his name is on the top of my head.
That's a big blow.
Yeah, we'll find. I mean, those were huge blows. I mean, Mike Evans got me the touchdown I needed right after getting it.
Maybe Cade Otton will step up finally.
Yeah, I mean, Cade Otton had a good week last week. I mean, yardage wise, he actually put some points up. But again, like I said, Baker's going to have to be careful, because a lot of times when you see some of these interceptions by quarterbacks, they're not always on the quarterback. Right. You got receivers running bad routes. Off the chest, all the crazy, like off the face mask, whoever in the hell knows what's going on. So with that being said, I got 2.5-point favorites of the Falcons going into Tampa Bay. I like the Falcons to win that game and cover that 2.5 points.
Yep.
And the over-under I have was at 45.5. I like 45.5 being over to hit.
Oh, you like the over?
Yes,
I got 46. I like the over
because the Bucs have been able to find a way to run the ball the last couple of weeks.
They have.
The Falcons aren't that
with
tough.
Bucky Irvin and Tucker.
Yes, and the Falcons aren't that tough up front. They haven't been able to get a pass rush all season. That's why they lost to Seattle last week, just like I said they would. And then on top of that, the Bucs have been able to run the ball. So I think Baker keeps playing good, smart football. I think they'll be able to kind of stay within the game. I just think they won't have enough at the end of the game.
Yep.
All right. So the next up here, we got the Ravens at the Browns. The lowly Browns who got Jameis Winston starting. Deshaun Watson is out for the season. Might be the last time we've seen that. $230 million. Sign off and see you, baby. Sign off and fucking see you.
Yeah, because what I was hearing, there's no insurance way.
There is none. He counts $72.5 million against the cap next year.
Yeah,
$72.5 million in the cap against the next year after that. And there's no way out of it. There is absolutely no way out of it whatsoever. So the Browns have to go into this offseason saying, I've got to draft a rookie quarterback, and hopefully you get a Brock Purdy fucking luck action. But it's the Browns, so we know it's not going to happen. Because we know it's not going to happen. That's just not how the Browns do business. So 9.5-point favorites for the Ravens. The Ravens are rolling.
I've got 8.5.
You got 8.5?
Yeah, I've got 8.5.
Yeah, so I looked at 9.5 is what I saw there. Okay. When I looked and checked it even about an hour or two ago.
I mean, ultimately, the Ravens are going to win this game.
Yeah.
But with Jameis Winston starting, maybe it pops up in that offense a little bit. Chubbs is back. He did score a touchdown last week.
Yes, he did.
So I'll take the 8.5 points for Cleveland and give me the under 44.5.
I was very tempted with how big this spread was, but right now there's nothing the Browns has shown me any life. I mean, Jameis might.
I'm just looking for a little Jameis spark.
And this might actually rally them together because the Cleveland fans were actually cheering when Deshaun Watson got hurt. That really pissed off a lot of the players. So this might be that unifier for them to at least have them play a tough game.
You come out and show something.
Yeah, to show some life and show hey, man, let's go ahead and do this thing, But, again, what I've seen so far up to this point, yes, Nick Chubb is back, but you can't run the ball on the Ravens very well.
No.
So, I mean, as far as I like the Ravens to cover that 9.5 that I have with them. Obviously hit the money line. And I like the over at 44.5, more because of the Ravens and nothing to do with the Browns. Gotcha. But I can see 2 touchdowns get pulled out for the Browns.
Just division game. I mean, these guys know each other really well. Yeah. I could just see it being like 2017.
And that's one of the things with Lamar Jackson, because they know Lamar Jackson and the interdivision rivalry, they can usually contain him a little better. But you got King Henry there, man.
Yeah,
he's beasted, man. I mean, like you see, he gets any little touch, any opening.
He's still got a little speed, too.
Oh, yeah, he's gone, man. I mean, he is. He's going to rip one off on you. So that's where I kind of stand on that game. All right, next up we got the Colts at the Texans, another division rivalry. This is a division rivalry week, damn near looks like.
Now, after that, I mean, the Colts didn't deserve to win that game last week. Anthony Richardson was terrible. 10 for 24, 129 yards. Like, he just can't throw the ball more than... or you can't throw the ball less than 10 yards because you don't know where it's going.
Yeah, I mean, like the thing is, if they had played Flacco in that game, they would have destroyed the Dolphins.
Oh yes,
I mean, they would absolutely destroy the Dolphins. So Anthony Richardson doesn't give me a lot of hope and promise, especially for a lot of those other weapons that they have on the team. He actually getting the ball and involved. Still don't know if Jonathan Taylor's going to be playing or not.
Jonathan Taylor's probably still going to be out.
Yeah, he might still be out again. That must have been one hell of a high ankle sprain. Either that or he got paid and he's like, all right, fuck it.
Screw it.
Well, I mean, I don't know
Maybe
if that's either
cut
him
and you can do a Saquon latch on.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's still going to stay there with Indianapolis, but I just don't think, like right now, I mean, I don't know how motivated he is right now at this point, at least to risk it at this early start of the season, because with that extra game, that's just where it kind of seems.
I mean, Indy is 4-3. They're sitting right there.
Oh, yeah, they're right there. If they win this game, if they win this game, they got tied for the division lead. So,
with that being said, I like Houston to win this game, cover the 5, and give me the under.
I got 5.5. I actually like Indianapolis to cover it at 5.5. But I'd like Houston to win the game, obviously, and I'm with you on the under. What'd you get the under at? I had 46. I had 46.5. Okay. So we basically got that little half-point difference between. So again, learn to shop your bets there. All right, so that's what we got for that game. Next up, we got the Titans at the Lions. Another one of those monster large spreads here this week.
Yeah, this
the Titans
is the biggest
got rid of DeAndre Hopkins, who is now a chief, who has done nothing with the Titans all year with that Will Levis and what's his name, Mason Rudolph combination.
So he's ready to ball.
Yes, he's ready to ball. He's going to get into a locker room where he knows he's going to have some action, so that's going to rejuvenate him a little bit. But 11 points is a shit ton of points, man. It really is. The Lions have looked good. They look like studs. This is one of those where they're kind of begging you to take the Lions on this blowout here, or either on the Texans to go for the 11, because 11 points is a lot.
That is a lot.
That is a lot of points here. So I mean,
I just think the Lions blow Tennessee out of the water in Detroit, like.
See, I can just see a garbage time touchdown where they get within 11.
Okay, so you like that?
So I like the Titans to cover the 11. The Lions still pull out the victory, but then I have the over-under was at 45.5. I like the over on that game.
I've got 45, and I like the over as well.
Okay, all right. So the only difference we have is who covers the spread-wise.
I'll give up the 11. You're taking it.
Yeah, I'm taking it. It's just a lot of points, man. It is a lot. That's a hard bet to make in the NFL, especially because, like I said, garbage time touchdowns.
I mean, come Saturday, I could change my tune if it starts creeping up to 12, 12.5, 13.
Well, it was at 10.5 as of yesterday, and then it moved up to 11. So yeah, it's creeped up there a little bit. All right, so the next up we got the Saints at the Chargers. The Chargers who lost to the surprising,
last-second field goal.
Devastating game. They couldn't ever punch the ball in the end zone. Had a turnover with a defensive lineman. Got an interception. Gets the ball punched out by James Conner. They recover deep. But, I mean, there was just a lot of crazy stuff. Why football is one of the most exciting games to gamble on, because there's so many plays that you just can't predict.
You never know. And that ball is not round, so you don't know
where it's going to bounce. That's why it's one of the greatest games. Only sport where the ball is not round. So, with that being said, though, the Saints are 7-point dogs.
I got 7.
Yeah, I got 7-point dogs going into Los Angeles there. I like the Saints actually to cover this somehow, some way. I don't know how it'll happen, but they're really beat up injury-wise.
The Saints are still devastated. Carr's still out. Yes. Like I said, Shaheed's out for the year. Olave's still probably going to be out. Yeah. Taysom Hill, who even cares? He's not the central point of that offense.
But he's a big key with it's somebody you have to scheme against.
Yeah, the trick plays. That's why I could see them getting. But I like the Chargers to cover.
And I haven't heard if they're going to start Spencer Rattler again, or if it's going to be Clint Herner. Because if Clint Herner starts, I actually that's what even more so I like for them to cover this game. Because Herner, I like the way he spins the ball. I really did. But so I like the Saints to cover the 7 points, but the Chargers have
to win and give us the under in this one.
I want the under. Give me the under at 39.5. I don't see a lot of offense.
No.
Because Jim Harbaugh, he's one of those type. I'm going to play keep away from you. Keep that ball away from you and then see what happens and go from there. All right, so next up we got the Bills at the Seahawks. The Bills with Amari Cooper scoring a touchdown in his first game.
He did. He was the only one that did. Well, I mean, Adams had 3 catches for the Jets, but it was only for 30 yards.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like it was, that was a very disappointing, kind of debut there with the Steelers. I mean, they started out good and they looked good in the first half, but then they just kind of pissed it away.
Yeah, no, when I went to bed that night, it was 15-13 Jets were up, so...
Seahawks looked good last week against the Falcons, but they lost. I think DK Metcalf's going to be out this week. I think he has an MCL sprain, so he's going to be out this week. They're 3-point dogs at home. Who do you like in this one, Bobby?
I think Seattle gets this one done at home. The Bills are traveling on the road again, flying all the way across the country to Seattle, playing that afternoon game. I don't see how they're 3-point favorites, to tell you the truth, going into Seattle. That's crazy.
I do, and I actually see it. I can understand why they have him that way. James Cook is getting a little bit healthier. Amari Cooper another weekend at offense.
I think Josh Allen has a significant injury, and they're just not saying anything. He is not running the ball at all this year.
I just don't know. I
think when he does run the ball, he's not doing anything with it.
I think, he took that concussion, that big shot early, man. I think they're probably telling him, hey, dude, you got to protect yourself. You got a long way to go.
I like Seattle to win this game at home. Give me the over 46.5, and give me the plus 3 points.
All right, so we're in total disagreement here. Okay. I like the Bills to win this game, cover the 3 points, obviously. And I like the under. I have at 47.5.
All right. Well, that's the first one. So.
Yeah, total disagreement. Yeah, so that's the first one there. All right, next up we got the Bears at the Commanders. This is an interesting game because we don't know what Jaden Daniels' status is yet. Left the game with a rib injury early on in the first quarter last week. Had a $44,000 parlay that thankfully I missed 2 touchdown scores in that parlay.
Oh, that would have been the one to miss.
That would have been that was one. So like that was the thing. I'm kind of glad that Khalil Shakir didn't score in that game, so I didn't have my heart broken right in the first quarter when Jaden Daniels goes out, because he was my other anytime touchdown scorer in that game against the Panthers. I got the Commanders as 2-point dogs at home because right now with Jaden Daniels his status being up in the air. Jake Mariota. What's his name? Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota. He came in and he actually looked good last week. It was against the Panthers, but we'll see what happens.
But this Chicago's defense is much, much better than that Panthers defense.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I still had it as a home game. I like the Panthers to go ahead and be the home dogs to go ahead and cover that 2 points, get the victory there, and I like the over at 44.
All right, you like the over. You like Commanders to win. And you like them to obviously get that 2. Yeah, disagreement again. All right, that's 2 in a row.
That's 2 in a row, brother. That's 2 in a row, which has not been going in my favor as much this year.
Not so much this year.
Not this much this year, which is the first, I think, in a while. So, all right. Next up, we got the Panthers at the Broncos. This
is another one of those giant spreads.
Bryce Young is back as starting quarterback again. Andy Dalton was in a car accident with his family. Thank God everybody's okay, but he has a sprained thumb, so he's going to be sitting out of this game. Got Bryce Young back in there. Maybe a couple games off has helped him out a little bit. But again, it's a 9-point spread. Broncos defense has been solid. I think Pat Surtain, the second, is back. I think
they put a hurting on.
The Saints.
It was the Saints last week.
Yes, it was the Saints. So it's a 9-point spread there at home for Denver. I actually like Denver.
I got 10.
You got 10?
Yeah, I have
10. Yeah, see, I had 8.5 yesterday. They went up to 9 today. So I actually like the Broncos to actually pull off this victory at home, cover that 9-point spread, because until the Panthers show me something different, I can't really go and ride with that. Adam Thielen, I think, was questionable. Deontay Johnson was questionable. There's just a lot of weapons there that they really don't have that to secure against a very solid defense. And then the over-under was at 43.5. I actually like the over. And I don't ask me why I like the over. There's no real rhyme or reason exactly why I picked the over in this game. I just thought, maybe Bryce Young might get a little spark there, defensive touchdown here or there, or the Broncos just kick the shit out of them.
You've got 43.5. I've got 42.5, but I'll take the under in this one.
Like the
under? If Denver does end up winning this game, it'll probably be a blowout.
Yeah.
But I'll take that 10 points from Carolina, baby. We'll see what it looks like on Saturday.
You want to see them cover?
I'll take that 10 points all day long.
All right, here's another double-digit spread. We got the Chiefs at the Raiders. The lowly Raiders.
This one surprises me because the Raiders always play the tough.
They always do. They really do.
Always.
They really do. The quarterback position makes me a little antsy because you don't really know what you're going to get out of that. Obviously, they don't have any Devontae Adams. Let's see defensively what type of heart the team plays with. Again, it's a division rivalry, and again, they always do play the Chiefs tough. I got 10 points. Who do you like in this game, Bobby?
I mean, I like the Chiefs to win this one, but I will take the 10 points for the Raiders and give me the under in this one as well, 41.5.
Okay, I got 41.5 too as well. I actually with you on that all the way around, except for I'll take the over at 41.5.
Okay.
Yeah, let's take the over, especially with D-Hop there, his game. Let's see what happens there. I don't know how much he's going to get integrated, but he's not a big practice player anyway, so.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, Amari Cooper had the 3 catches and a touchdown last week. Devontae Adams had 3 catches and 30 yards. You just never know. Neither one of them had fantastic games.
No,
so.
It wasn't. I mean, because, again, it's hard to integrate into the offense.
And Cooper, the funny thing, if you go back and watch that, he's actually looking for direction from.
Oh, yeah. He was asking, I think it was a Keon Coleman.
Yeah, the rookie.
What the route was. He's like, you got a post on this? Yep. He ran it beautifully, though. Caught it to play. And
boom, touchdown,
baby. Touchdown. Which that was one I thought Khalil Shakir was going to score. But again, once again, it didn't matter. All right, so we got next up, we got the Cowboys at the 49ers. Cowboys at 49ers. We got Micah Parsons is questionable to play. Yep. Deron Bland actually is potentially going to be coming back in this game. I think he's a game-time decision starting off of this game here.
Debo's questionable. Ayuk is out.
Oh, yeah.
Kittle is questionable.
Yes. Of course, no McCaffrey yet. I mean, so there's a lot of weapons that they're missing. And if you look at
San Francisco just looks like discombobulated.
And when you look at Brock Purdy's record without Deebo Samuel, I want to say he's like 2 for 10 or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, or maybe not that high, but it was maybe. But I know it's like he's only won like 2 games without Deebo, but it's at least 2 for 7 or 2 for 8, somewhere along that range. Maybe Director Dave can pull that one up for us.
Well, that's good because I'm riding with the Cowboys, baby. Ride, Cowboys, ride.
I'm riding for him to cover. I got it at 4.5.
I've got it at 4. Yeah,
you got 4, so I'm riding with him to cover,
but not to win.
No, I'm not.
Really?
I have no faith in him. Like I told you earlier, man, there's too much malarkey going on.
I'm going with the pattern so far this year. Dallas undefeated on the road, winless at home. This is a road game. Give me Dallas, baby.
Coming out the bye. Let's see what happens. And you know what? As a fan, I'd love to see it, but as a gambler and a prognosticator, I can't do it. They haven't shown me enough for that.
Right.
But I mean, and then with the offense being beat up and Dallas's offense being so lifeless, I like the under at 46.5.
Okay. You like I'll take the over too.
Yeah, you like the over?
Yeah, I'll take the over.
Okay, so I went under on that one because I just don't see that being
And you like the Niners to win?
Yeah, so I like
Dallas is terrible against the run.
Yeah, they're terrible against the run, but again, we got to see because they don't have any downfield weapons to make space out that defense.
Can San Francisco even throw? Jaron Jennings is potentially out.
I mean, but again, like how physical because what the Cowboys are doing against the run has nothing to do with even like matchup scheme wise. This is a lack of effort. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen pro linebackers dodging blocks. I mean, they're dodging blocks, man. I mean, like you're getting guards pulling through the hole, and these dudes are running around them, creating even bigger fucking run lanes than I've ever seen in my life. And this goes back to that Green Bay game. And anybody who attacks them like that downhill, this is what it's been. So it makes it hard for me to have any faith. And plus the other thing that Troy Aikman brought up, actually, like during one of the interviews that he gave, he said that part of the thing with Dak Prescott isn't necessarily that Dak's playing bad quarterback. He's like the receivers are running shitty routes. Like I went back and watched the breakdown. I mean, they're running horrible routes.
Cutting shit off short.
Oh, I mean, cutting shit off short. Like going to the wrong depths routes because a lot of that West Coast offense is a lot of horizontal passing and crossing routes. So you got to be at the right depths. You got to make sure that you're doing the right rubs on rub routes, and they're just not. They're execution wise totally piss poor right now. So I can see them covering the 4.5. I just don't see them pulling out the victory. All right, so in the last game of the week, we got
Monday night.
Yes, Monday night game. We got the Giants at the Steelers. The Giants at the Steelers. Russell Wilson made his glorious return as a starting quarterback.
Yeah, he stuck me. I had Pickens sitting on my bench. I mean, I got the win, but it was closer than I wanted it to be.
Yeah, so you got Russell Wilson there, and they're going back in Pittsburgh here for another back-to-back start. I got him at 6.5 point favorites there.
Yeah, that's what I had.
6.5 point. The Giants looked horrible last week.
Yes.
But again, so when you go back and that's why sometimes you have to go back and look at the game again. A lot of that video that you see on the game, George Pickens, a lot of those plays, he was left one-on-one in an isolation. I don't see the Giants doing that again this week. having like where they're going to leave him in single coverage. Russell Wilson throwing those moon balls in single coverage. George Pickens making those plays. I don't see that happening again this week. I can see the Giants keeping it close enough to where they cover that 6.5 points.
Okay.
I like the Steelers to still win.
Yeah.
But I like the Giants to cover that 6.5 points.
So I have 36.5. This is the smallest over-under of the week, 36.5. I like the over in this one.
I'm with you on that one, too. I like the over, brother.
I like Pittsburgh to cover that.
You like the Pittsburgh to cover?
I think they can beat them by a touchdown.
I can see them beat it by a touchdown, but I also can see the Giants actually put up a lot tougher fight than what they did, especially a Monday night game.
Oh, I mean, last week, they hardly put up a fight last week.
No, once they got down 14-0, I told you when we were sitting there watching the game, I was like, oh, it's over. I was like, once they went down 14-0, I was like, that is it.
Yeah, they threw Drew Lock in the game.
Yeah, I mean, it was just nasty. It was just all the way around nasty. So, I mean, let's see what happens. But, I mean, it should be another interesting week. We got week 8.
Yes, it is.
A lot of big spreads this week, so we'll see what happens as far as what's going to happen. But
So I've got a 3-leg touchdown parlay right now. Nothing on Thursday or Monday nights. One on Monday night. But give me Pickens to score back-to-back weeks with Wilson in there. Mason to score for the 49ers because they're not going to have any passing game. And Henry to score for Baltimore because he's been scoring just every weekend now. So that's plus 436. I mean, it's not a huge win, but for a 3-leg touchdown parlay, I'll take plus 436.
All right, for my smoking token hot parlay I'm giving you guys this week, I like this Thursday night special. I always like to give you guys one on Thursday to ride with. So I actually like the Vikings to get the money line on this game. Justin Jefferson, anytime touchdown. Aaron Jones over 24.5 yards receiving. I like Matthew Stafford to still throw for over 235.5 yards passing, just because I feel like they're going to have to if they're going to have any chance to even stay in this game. And then to give me Justin Jefferson with over 5.5 yards over 5.5 receptions. Yeah. 5.5 receptions. That's at plus 1304 at the moment. Plus 1304, which means $100 pays you out, basically 1404. Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm riding with for that Thursday night smoking token hot parlay special.
All right.
So we got a Director Dave, dumbass pick of the week.
What you got, Dave?
What we got, Dave? All right. We got a little Jahmyr. Ooh, I like that. All right, so we got a little Jahmyr Gibbs, anytime touchdown. Breece Hall, anytime touchdown. Jamar Chase, anytime. Lamar Jackson, anytime. Tank Bigsby, who got in the end zone twice last week, anytime. Xavier Worthy, which I like that as a sneak pick. 7,130 plus
7,130.
Yeah, so that's a good pick right there. That's a Director's Dave dumbass pick. That's not a bad one right there. Dave stayed away from Thursday night this week. Riding on the weekend. So.
I've made that mistake before.
That's why for me it's like on Thursday I kind of like Thursday be its standalone. I don't like to mix my Thursdays and Sundays up. No, I like Thursday to be my standalone there. So that's what we got for you this week, everybody. It's been good times with you as we're riding through the season. It's going way too fast. Way too fucking fast. But that's all right. We're going to enjoy that ride because we got 10 more weeks of the regular season.
Yep, and then playoffs.
And then the playoff time where it gets juicy. So I'm Jason Smokey Token.
I'm Bobby Light.
We'll see you next week.
Peace.